Hey everyone, it's Come Follow Me time again. We're in Haggai and Zechariah this week. Well, Zechariah, Z-E, not Z-A. A lot of people say Zechariah. I don't know how it's pronounced, but Zechariah. And there's like this, and then Malachi. It's our Christmas lesson, and I'm probably going to take a break Christmas week because you guys know Christmas, so I might just put up some live stuff. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, let's get into it. We're in Haggai 1, 5-8. Now, Haggai's name actually means festival, so it's very apt as to what he's doing as to why it's a festival. Basically, he's trying to get the temple rebuilt so they can have a groundbreaking and a temple rededication, which is like the best festival, right? So there you go. But verses 5-8, he's counseling these people in consider your ways. So let's have a look at the verses, and then we'll discuss why the situation's there and what he's trying to teach them about it, because there's things we can learn from this too. So verses 5-8 of chapter 1 read, Now thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in a bag with holes. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord. Now the house is the temple. So there's some interesting messages in here. So let's go through a little bit of history and place this in context. So finally able to return to Jerusalem, Haggai remembers what Solomon's temple was like, and we can read that in chapter 2, verse 3. Making him an old man, because remember they've been gone 70 to 80 years. So if he remembers it as a little kid, he's still going to be in like his 80s, 70s to 80s. So, an older man here, and he's like, I remember how beautiful it was. And how do you think he would have felt seeing it like that? Now, if you remember back in Ezra chapter 2, verse 2, we discussed this like months ago, Zerubbabel, remember him? So he returned about 19 years prior to Haggai coming in to start the work of the restoration. Remember, they did the wall on the outside, and they had people like fighting those that were trying to stop them, people building the wall, and then people trying to support those that were doing both. So it was not an easy job. So many things hindered the process of restoring the temple. So there was infighting, there's racism, spiritual apathy, probably some PTSD from being in captivity for so long, and invasions from other countries. They all hindered this rebuilding of the temple and Jerusalem. So Haggai tells the people to be strong, to get rid of their fear, and it's a similar message to our modern day prophets. Pray, then get to work, right? So how do you consider your ways? He's saying consider your ways. You're so worried about having your house built, having all these other things that are going on. It's like if you actually concentrated on the temple first, even if you're living in a tent, right? If you don't have a brick and mortar house yet, you're living in a tent, focus on getting that temple first, because once that temple is open and you get to go to the temple, then everything else falls into place really quickly. It brings in that peace. It brings in, like, all your needs become enough. That's why he's saying there, you're eating, but it's not filling you up. You go and earn money, but you put it in bags with holes. And who feels these days that they're earning all the money and it's gone before it even comes in, And actually going to the temple will shift that focus if you go with that right spirit, of course. So is your focus, where is your priorities? How do you consider your ways? What are your priorities? What is your focus? Because if you can have that be Jesus Christ in the temple, then actually having enough is abundance. And we've discussed that before. Abundance doesn't have to be an excess. Actually, abundance can be enough. And maybe some of the priorities that you've got are very worldly. We all do. There's things I would love to buy. Even good things. Deseret Book has just released another book from Elder Holland to go with next year's study. I would dearly love it. But to get it over here, it costs about 3 to 4 times the amount it would to just buy it in the States from a shop. So I don't have that right now, and I would dearly love that book, but it's not going to happen for me just yet. Maybe next year, if they've still got some. But I've got to look at those priorities, and right now my priority is trying to, pay for a house, and actually we'll be blessed because we both work and go to the temple and focus our priorities on those kind of good gospel things, even though some of the things that we'd like to enhance that aren't available to us at this time. But that actually doesn't matter. I know the Lord will still bless me to be able to have a deeper understanding of the New Testament as I go study it next year. And that actually the Come Follow Me material and the New Testament itself will be enough for me to understand deeper, as much as I would love all those other books. And there are so many to choose from, and there's nothing wrong with them if you can get them. I'm happy for you, but that's not an option for all of us. So, think about your priorities. Think about where your focus is. And if you're feeling like it's just not happening for you, maybe you need to refocus. Just pause and refocus. What can you let go of? What ideals and expectations can you let go and focus more on Christ? Focus on the temple. Visit the temple. Even if you can't go inside, go sit outside. Focus on that. Because once you do that, the other things aren't as important. And actually you have enough. You don't go hungry. You don't go cold. You will have somewhere to live. It might not be ideal or the latest fashion or everything that you thought you wanted, but it will be enough. And you will not be going without. You will not have a lack. That is what he's trying to teach them. If you can build the temple, everything else will fall into place and you will not lack. And we see that come true. Now, President Thomas S. Monson, when he was live, he said, "This is your time. What will you do with it? Are you where you want to be with your life?" Isn't that the ultimate question? Are you where you want to be with your life? I can actually say at this time I am. Strangely. Not exactly how I thought it was going to be, or even how I might still sometimes want it to be, but it's pretty good actually, and I'm okay with that. But if not, what are you going to do about it? Now, I asked myself this a long time ago. My life wasn't where I wanted it to be. What am I going to do about it? Because the only one that's going to fix it is us. Other people will support us in that, but the only person that's going to fix those problems is us. So, get the support, whatever you need to do, and don't feel overwhelmed trying to do it all at once. A little bit at a time. And just work on it. But yeah, if your life is not what you want it to be, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change that? Change the repeated habits and behaviors that are causing these issues for you and focus somewhere else. And I would tell you, focus on Christ, because that's going to help. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you're listening to this and you're not Christian, but you just like the insights I give. I don't know. But focus on what is actually going to help you, rather than that same repetitive behavior that maybe is not helping you. Just a thought there. So, consider your ways. Think about it. Consider your ways. I love that message. All right. Hang around. We're going to look at chapter 2 and learn some more about this whole Haggai and this time period. All right. See ya.